What if I told you that right now, sitting in your kitchen, there is something so simple, so cheap, and so scientifically powerful that if a pharmaceutical company could patent it, they would charge you hundreds of dollars a month for it? And what if I told you that this one thing, added to your morning water every single day, has been shown in peer-reviewed research to interfere with cancer cell survival, wake up your dormant stem cells, and essentially press a hard reset button on your kidneys before you've even eaten breakfast? I'm Dr. Noah Bennett, and I want you to stay with me through every second of this video because I'm going to walk you through the actual biology of what happens inside your body when you do this. Not theories, not trends, real science. And by the end, you're going to understand your own body in a way that most people never do. Let me start with something that I think about every single day as a physician. We are living in an era where chronic disease is exploding. Cancer rates are climbing. Kidney disease affects more than 1 in 7 adults in this country. Autoimmune conditions, inflammatory diseases, metabolic disorders, all of them rising year after year. And yet we keep looking for the solution in the most complicated, most expensive places. We keep waiting for the next drug, the next procedure, the next breakthrough. But what if one of the most powerful interventions available to us is something we've had access to for thousands of years, and we've just never understood the mechanism deeply enough to appreciate it? That's what today is about. And I promise you, by the time this video is over, your morning routine will never look the same again. Here's where we need to start. And this is something I genuinely wish every medical school spent more time teaching. Your body is not the same at 7:00 in the morning as it is at 7:00 in the evening. Not even close. The biology of the morning hours is radically different from any other time of day. And understanding this changes everything about how you should approach your first 30 minutes after waking up. Between roughly 2 and 6 in the morning, while you're deep in sleep, your body is running what I call its overnight biological maintenance program. Your liver is processing and neutralizing toxins. Your glymphatic system, that's the brain's waste clearance network, is actively flushing out metabolic byproducts, including amyloid proteins that are associated with Alzheimer's disease. Your kidneys are running in a concentrated filtration mode, pulling waste out of your blood at high efficiency. And your immune system is doing a surveillance sweep, identifying and tagging damaged and abnormal cells for removal. This is extraordinary work. This is your body doing everything in its power to keep you alive and healthy. But here's the problem. All of that work has a cost. By the time you open your eyes in the morning, your body is in a state of mild but measurable oxidative stress. Your cells have been generating free radicals throughout the night as a byproduct of all this metabolic activity, and those free radicals need to be neutralized. Your blood has thickened slightly due to overnight dehydration. Your urine, which your kidneys have been concentrating all night, is loaded with waste products that need to be flushed. And your body's internal pH has drifted slightly toward the acidic end of the spectrum, which creates a cellular environment that is measurably more hospitable to inflammation, to abnormal cell behavior, and yes, to cancer. And most people wake up and immediately make all of this worse. They drink coffee, a diuretic that pulls more water out of an already dehydrated body. They eat a high-sugar breakfast that spikes blood glucose and drives further inflammation. They scroll their phone, which triggers a cortisol stress response before their nervous system has even had a chance to calibrate. By 8 in the morning, they have taken one of the most important biological windows of the day and completely missed it. But you are not going to do that because now you understand what that window is for. The ingredient I'm talking about is fresh lemon. The juice of half a fresh lemon squeezed into 8 to 12 ounces of warm filtered water, consumed on an empty stomach within 15 minutes of waking up. That's it. That is the protocol. But I need you to understand why it works at the molecular level. Because when you truly understand the mechanism, You will never skip this habit again. Let's start with the paradox, because I know what some of you are already thinking. Lemon is acidic. Its pH outside the body is somewhere between 2 and 3, roughly the same acidity as vinegar. So how does something that acidic help reduce the acidic environment inside your body? This is where the biology becomes genuinely fascinating. When lemon juice is metabolized, when your body breaks down the citric acid and processes the mineral compounds in the juice, what remains after that metabolic process is alkaline. Scientists call this the alkaline ash effect. The end products of lemon metabolism actually raise the pH of your blood and urine measurably. Researchers at the University of Wisconsin confirmed this in published studies, showing that regular lemon juice consumption significantly and consistently raised urinary pH in test subjects. And why does that matter so profoundly? Because of what acidic environments do to your cells. Otto Warburg won the Nobel Prize in Physiology almost a century ago for discovering something that oncologists still consider one of the most important findings in cancer biology, that cancer cells preferentially thrive in acidic, low-oxygen environments. They generate energy through a process called anaerobic glycolysis that produces lactic acid as a byproduct, and that lactic acid creates a local acidic zone around the tumor that actually helps cancer cells survive, spread, and evade your immune system. More recent research from institutions including the University of California has built extensively on Warburg's work, showing that this acidic tumor microenvironment is not just a byproduct of cancer, it is actively exploited by cancer cells as a survival strategy. When you consistently shift your body toward a more alkaline state, even modestly, even by a fraction of a pH point, you are disturbing the conditions that cancer cells depend on. You are making your internal environment less hospitable to abnormal cell growth. Again, I want to be precise. I am not telling you lemon water prevents or cures cancer. No responsible physician makes that claim. What I am telling you is that the mechanistic evidence for why an alkaline shifted internal environment is less favorable for cancer cell activity is well established, Nobel Prize level science. And lemon water is one of the simplest dietary tools we have for supporting that shift. Now, let's talk about your kidneys, because this is where I get particularly passionate, especially when I'm speaking to viewers over 60. Here's a statistic that I think should be on the front page of every newspaper in this country. After the age of 40, the average person loses approximately 1% of their kidney filtering capacity every single year. 1% per year. By the time you're 70, you may be working with 30% less kidney function than you had at 40. And the vast majority of people have absolutely no idea, because the kidneys are remarkably good at compensating until they can't anymore. Early kidney decline doesn't announce itself with dramatic symptoms. It shows up as fatigue that you attribute to aging, as blood pressure that creeps up year after year, as sleep that gets lighter and less restorative, as cognitive sharpness that gradually dulls. Lemon juice contains one of the most kidney protective compounds found in any food, citrate, potassium citrate specifically. And citrate does several remarkable things in the kidney. First, it binds to calcium oxalate in the urine, preventing it from crystallizing into kidney stones. A study published in the Journal of Urology showed that patients who consumed lemon juice regularly had significantly reduced rates of kidney stone recurrence. But beyond stone prevention, citrate directly supports the electrochemical environment that your kidney cells need to perform efficient filtration. It helps maintain the delicate potassium balance that regulates how your nephrons, the tiny filtering units inside your kidneys, transport waste across cell membranes. And because you're consuming this first thing in the morning, when your kidneys are coming off their concentrated overnight filtration mode, the citrate arrives at exactly the right time to help dilute, flush, and reset the system. Think of it this way. Your kidneys have spent the night running at maximum concentration, pulling waste out of your blood and packing it into the smallest possible volume of urine. By morning, that system needs to be flushed and reset. Lemon water does exactly that, hydrating the system, delivering citrate to support the filtration machinery, and beginning the transition from overnight concentrated mode to daytime efficient mode. For seniors especially, this daily reset is not a luxury. It is a fundamental act of organ maintenance. Now, I want to spend a few minutes on inflammation, because almost every chronic disease that is destroying the health of people over 60 has chronic low-grade inflammation at its core. Researchers have given this phenomenon a name: inflammaging, the slow, smoldering, inflammatory state that accelerates aging at the cellular level and drives heart disease, Alzheimer's, diabetes, arthritis, and cancer simultaneously. And the morning hours, because of the natural cortisol surge and the overnight accumulation of inflammatory signaling molecules, represent the daily peak of this inflammatory activity. Lemon contains a class of compounds called flavonoids. Hesperidin, naringenin, and eriocitrin are the most studied, that directly target the inflammatory signaling pathway known as NF-κB. Nuclear factor kappa B is essentially the master on switch of your body's inflammatory response. When it's chronically overactivated, as it is in most people over 60 who are eating a standard modern diet, it drives continuous production of inflammatory proteins, including TNF-alpha, interleukin-6, and C-reactive protein. These are the same markers that show up elevated on your blood work and that your doctor tells you are concerning. A comprehensive review published in the journal Nutrients analyzed multiple clinical studies and found that citrus flavonoids consistently and significantly reduced circulating levels of these exact inflammatory markers in older adult subjects. And here's the timing insight that makes this particularly powerful. NF-κB activity follows a circadian rhythm. It peaks in the early morning hours. Consuming hesperidin and the other citrus flavonoids at this specific window, when the inflammatory pathway is at its most active, provides the maximum possible suppressive effect. You are not just fighting inflammation in general. You are delivering the intervention at the exact biological moment when it will do the most good. Now, I want to talk about something that I think is the most exciting frontier in this entire conversation: stem cells. I know that word gets thrown around a lot in wellness content, but I want to talk about what your body's own stem cells actually do and why what happens in the first 30 minutes of your morning profoundly affects their activity for the rest of the day. Your stem cells are your body's repair crew. They are undifferentiated cells, cells that haven't yet been assigned a specific job, and they can be called upon to become whatever type of cell your body needs to replace damaged tissue. Need to repair a section of your arterial wall? Stem cells. Need to replace damaged liver cells? Stem cells. Need to regenerate nerve tissue after injury? Stem cells. As long as you have an active, responsive stem cell population, your body has an extraordinary capacity for self-repair. The problem is that this capacity declines sharply with age. By your 70s, your stem cell activity may be a fraction of what it was in your 30s, and this decline is one of the most fundamental biological reasons why the body deteriorates as we age. But here's what the research is revealing, and this is genuinely one of the most exciting areas of longevity science right now. Stem cell activity is not fixed. It is profoundly responsive to the cellular environment. Specifically, it is regulated by the level of oxidative stress in the body and by the availability of key mitochondrial signaling molecules. When oxidative stress is high, when free radicals are abundant and the cellular environment is inflamed and acidic, stem cells essentially go into survival mode. They shut down their repair functions and divert all available resources to simply staying alive. When oxidative stress is reduced, when the environment is alkaline and well hydrated and properly mineralized, stem cells come back online. They begin receiving and responding to repair signals. They activate. Lemon water supports stem cell activation through two distinct pathways. First, the vitamin C in lemon juice is a direct antioxidant. It neutralizes free radicals and reduces the oxidative burden that suppresses stem cell activity. Second, and this is the more sophisticated mechanism, the citrate in lemon juice is a key molecule in the Krebs cycle, your cell's primary energy production pathway. When you deliver exogenous citrate to your cells first thing in the morning, before any significant glucose load from food arrives, you are priming your mitochondria for cleaner, more efficient energy production. Healthier mitochondria produce fewer free radicals as a byproduct of energy generation. Fewer free radicals means a more hospitable environment for stem cell activity. The chain of effects is elegant, deeply interconnected, and supported by a growing body of peer-reviewed research. A 2019 study published in Cell Stem Cell demonstrated that early morning fasting state conditions, which is precisely the state you are in when you drink lemon water before eating, are associated with significantly increased stem cell regenerative capacity. You are not just hydrating when you drink this. You are sending a signal to your body's own repair machinery that the environment is safe, that resources are available, and that it is time to activate. Let me give you the exact protocol because the details matter more than most people realize. Use the juice of half a fresh lemon, not bottled lemon juice, which has been pasteurized and loses a significant portion of its enzymatic activity and bioactive compound content. Squeeze it into 8 to 12 ounces of filtered water, not tap water if you can avoid it, because chlorine interferes with some of the enzymatic processes we've discussed. The water should be warm, not hot, not cold, but warm, roughly body temperature or slightly above. Cold water requires your digestive system to spend energy warming it before it can be efficiently absorbed, which defeats part of the purpose. Add optionally a very small pinch of high-quality sea salt or Himalayan pink salt. We're talking about 1/16 of a teaspoon for trace minerals that support rapid cellular hydration. Drink it slowly over about 5 minutes. Do not rush it. And critically, do not brush your teeth immediately after. The citric acid in lemon temporarily softens tooth enamel, and brushing within 30 minutes of drinking lemon water can cause enamel abrasion over time. Either brush before you drink it or rinse your mouth with plain water afterward and wait at least 30 minutes before brushing. Do this every single morning. The benefits we've discussed, the reduction in inflammatory markers, the kidney protective effects, the stem cell activation, the alkalizing effect on your internal environment, these are cumulative. Studies measuring these outcomes do so at 8, 12, and 16 weeks of consistent daily use. You are not looking for an immediate dramatic change. You are building a different biochemical baseline day by day, morning by morning. You are rewiring the environment that your cells wake up to every single day. I want to close with something I say to my patients regularly, and I mean it with complete sincerity. The most powerful medicine is the medicine you take every day without thinking of it as medicine. The habits so small, so quiet, so inexpensive that they barely register as interventions. Those are often the ones with the deepest, most lasting impact on your biology. A lemon and a glass of warm water every morning before anything else. It is not glamorous. It will not go viral the way a new drug announcement does. But the science behind what it does to your kidneys, your inflammatory pathways, your stem cells, and your internal cellular environment is as solid and well supported as anything I can offer you from my years of medical practice. Your body is extraordinary. It wants to repair. It wants to renew. It wants to function at a high level for as long as you are alive. All it needs is the right environment and the right signals at the right time. Give it that every morning, and over weeks and months, you will feel the difference in ways that no single pill could ever replicate. If this video gave you something valuable, a new understanding of your own biology, a new perspective on your morning routine, please hit the like button right now. It takes 1 second, and it helps the science-based content reach the people who need it most. If you are not yet subscribed to this channel, please subscribe and turn on notifications, because every week I am here covering the kind of evidence-based, practical health information that your doctor may not have time to explain in a standard appointment. And the video coming up next week, I want you to make sure you don't miss it. We are going to be covering a specific morning breathing technique that has been studied in clinical trials for its effect on blood pressure, heart rate variability, and the vagal tone of your nervous system in adults over 60. The results from those studies genuinely surprised me, and they will surprise you too. I'll see you then. Take care of yourselves and take care of those mornings.